Okay, so before we get to the chant and what they were saying, I'm sure there are a lot of you that are wondering what's going on. I know there's also a lot of you that know what's going on, but let me tell you, you don't. There's a lot of stuff that I couldn't show you on TikTok, so be sure to stay tuned to see never before seen footage. Trust me, you'll want to see it. Also, this is my first YouTube ever, so as a little celebration, I'm going to be picking my favorite subscriber comments and posting them on the next video. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you can be officially part of the J Squad. Now, let's get to it. It all started about a week ago when I noticed that my plants were dying. I looked up online all sorts of remedies, but nothing worked. So I decided a little pruning couldn't hurt. I was cleaning up some shrubs when I noticed there was this weird bundle of sticks. It was next to one of my dying trees. I got the creeps right away and threw it out. I don't mess with that stuff. It had some weird energy. That night, I had some of the worst nightmares I've had my entire life. I don't know what it was, but I couldn't sleep. That's when I checked my security camera and I saw that Cooper was staring at something that wasn't there. Then I remember one of my friends telling me about this app called Sleep Cycle. It records you while you sleep. So I figured if there was anything weird going on that I couldn't capture on camera, I would capture it with audio. Just listen to this creepy recording of myself that's definitely not me. What? Who said that? Okay guys, nobody has ever seen the footage I'm about to play for you. Here we go. Are those whispers? Like, what even is that? So creepy. It was when I was listening to those recordings that I heard this loud crash from my neighbors. It was glass, bottles, wood, I couldn't even name it. It was definitely not normal. So, like a good neighbor, I thought I would just check it out and make sure everybody was okay. But when I knocked on the door, no one answered. Here's the craziest part. On my way back to my apartment, I saw someone in my house. When I walked inside, no one was there. Just this weird piece of fabric on the floor. Cooper would not leave it alone. It's no doubt the dogs have an innate sense to energies, but my dog is no exception. He picks up on everything. And when we came inside, he was sniffing the black fabric like crazy. Guess what I found underneath it? The bundle of sticks. That night I went live and I learned from my followers that it was actually a witch totem. So I went to work on my own research. That's when I found this book. Apparently this was no stick bundle. This was a witch totem. This particular witch totem is called a venomum floral, which is Latin for plant poison. No wonder all my plants were dying. Whoever put that there was trying to kill them. Let's take a little read, shall we? Witch totems are extremely dangerous and should not be handled nor touched, even indirectly with gloves. Any contact, in fact, may deepen the curse that has been placed with said totem. Witch totems are usually made from sticks, clay, leaves, feathers, animal bones, leather, and or twine. If a witch totem is found, leave it where it lie, as disturbing the totem will not absolve the curse. The following are the different types of witch totems. Venomum floral. So, why is somebody trying to kill my plants? Why is somebody trying to bring any harm to where I live? I want to figure out why. I need to know. So, it was about 5 minutes after I discovered what plant poison meant in Latin that I got this crazy pounding on my door. When I opened my door, there was this note telling me to put it back. I had a better idea. So, I smashed it. I figured if it was smashed, it couldn't do its job. If it was smashed, the spell was broken. It couldn't kill my plants. Right? Wrong. And then I saw my neighbor. She was about to leave her house when I yelled out to her.
Hey!
She told me to come back later because it wasn't safe now. So later that night, I got up my courage and I confronted her. Only when she opened the door, she was so sweet. She had this smile on her face that made me trust her even though there was definitely something that I couldn't put my finger on about her. I followed her inside and I was instantly taken aback. It was a completely different world than I had ever been in before. Take a look at this. Listen, I don't judge. I love this kind of stuff. But if you're messing with my plants, we got a problem. So I decided I would talk to her about it and see if she knew anything. She was actually really nice about everything. And she told me that it was all just a big misunderstanding and that she didn't intend any harm. Okay guys, time for some more never before seen footage. This is the conversation I had with my neighbor when I first met her inside her house. Take a look.
I wanted to just explain to you, Yuki means well. She has good intentions. She's just not entirely aware of her power.
What is all this?
It's just our home. Yeah.
What do you mean powers?
Abilities, light, love, earth.
She said some crazy things that I knew couldn't be true, but for some reason, I believed her. The vibe was really nice and I was actually enjoying my time there until this happened. I swear, it was not storming, there was no rain, not a cloud in the sky. But lightning struck when her roommate showed up. She was not happy. Just take a look at some more never before seen footage.
I can feel him in here. Why is he here?
I'm sorry.
He needs to go.
I didn't want to
I
be
know,
in here. I didn't want to be
I
here.
know.
He has to go.
I'm going.
I
I'm going.
understand,
Please let me
No.
go.
He
Why was she so upset? Look, I don't understand, but I definitely didn't want to get on anybody's bad side, and I was in her house, so I left. But the next morning, I saw her leaving the house in that same cloak getup in 90-degree heat. Who does that? But the weirdest thing was when I walked up to her. She began to turn around, but then she disappeared, and in her place was a cat. Look, I know you don't believe me, but I caught it on film. Take a look. Human being, cat. Still don't believe me? Let's slow it down. Notice how there's no cat. Notice how the cat is there and she's gone. I didn't believe it myself either, but I literally have proof of it. Then the cat started following me around. I got weirded out and went back in my house. That's when I found this. That's right, the totem was back, completely regenerated on my couch. How did this happen? I literally smashed it to bits. Now I was determined to get rid of it. A lot of my followers suggested that I should burn it, but I thought that was a little extreme and I had a better idea that maybe wasn't as harmful. So I took the totem and a rock and I drowned it in the sink. Then I called my friend Alex, who is super up to date on everything occult, especially witchcraft. Except when I tried to talk, I couldn't speak. The only thing that came out of my mouth when I opened it was water. Every time I tried to say anything, water would just come out. Luckily, Alex heard the bubbling through the phone and knew exactly what had happened. He explained to me that I had to take the totem out of the water or I wouldn't be able to speak again. So I ran back to the sink, took the rock off the totem, and as soon as I brought it up from the water, I could talk. Explain that. After I caught my breath, Alex told me that the only way to get rid of the totem is to bury it in a forest far away. He said that I needed a clipping of one of the plants that it killed, and that it was imperative that I bury them both face down and 30 feet apart from each other. So we got to work. The drive was long, but it was worth it because I haven't seen the totem since. We took our time burying it and make sure they were exactly 30 feet apart. But just seconds after the last pile of dirt hit the sticks, we heard this blood-curdling sound, and I saw the cloaked figure. But when I looked back, nothing was there. I decided it was best for us to get out of there, and fast. Alex had seen enough and I don't blame him. So he dropped me off at my house and he headed home. But the second I got inside, I heard this crazy chanting. You know what I'm talking about. It did not sound good. I couldn't understand the words at first. It was just really intense, loud banging. It started soft, but then it got louder and louder and louder. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but I could tell that it had some intense energy behind it. That's when I listened even closer and I heard the words, "Let's all be free in harmony." It was some real positive vibes, and whatever they were saying, I was picking up on. So I ran over right away, knocked on the door, and they let me in. Here's more never before seen footage. Take a look.
So it's just this huge misunderstanding. You were growing these plants that were poisonous to my cat. And my cat's also a person and a witch.
Yeah.
She's shapeshift.
So, do I believe that my next door neighbor's cat is actually her roommate and they're actually witches and she was just trying to kill my plants because they were poisonous to her cat? I couldn't tell you that. All I know is that they're awesome people and I'm glad that the universe brought us together, no matter what the context. I still know what I saw and I believe what I saw. I guess in the end, what I learned was that you really shouldn't judge a book by its cover and that some clear communication can really go a long way. Once we found out each other's needs, it was simple and we instantly became friends. We're actually hanging out tonight, so if you want to know what happens next, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.